I'm super nervous to share this with you, but I just have to tell you the truth. School sucks. But please don't tell anyone I told you that. I'll tell you why in just a second. Seriously though, when it comes to teaching kids about money, schools do a tremendously terrible job preparing students to build true wealth. In this video, I'm going to show you the 7 skills you didn't learn in school to rock your money as an adult. Now, all these skills are important, but there are 2 in particular that could literally take millions of dollars out of your pocket if you don't put them into practice right now. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Matt Matheson. I am a personal finance writer, teacher, and school principal who is a bit nervous that my colleagues will find out that I just said school sucks on YouTube. In addition to that, I'm also the founder of Family Money School, and this channel is all about helping kids and the parents who love them become money rock stars. Okay, the first skill is critical. Without it, you're going to fail immediately with money and you will never recover. What is it? Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. No, of course, I'm just kidding. But if you'd subscribe to get more of my awesome videos, I would be super grateful. No, the first money skill you need to master is knowing where your money goes. Now, this may sound simple, and it is, but a ton of people struggle with it, and many have no idea what they spend their money on. In fact, one recent survey revealed that 65% of Americans have zero idea how much money they spent last month. These people often spend and spend and spend until there's nothing left, or something even worse happens, as we'll see in just a moment. Now, even though 65% of people are just downright awful at this, tracking your spending doesn't have to be hard. There are tons of apps like You Need a Budget, Mint, Every Dollar, Good Budget, and Pocket Guard, just to name a few. And with all of these apps, you can either sync them with your bank so that every transaction you complete is automatically shown in the app, or you can manually enter your expenses. Either way, the days of keeping a tiny expense tracking notebook in your pocket or entering everything into a spreadsheet are long gone. Okay, so you now know where your money goes. What's next? Well, you need to have a plan for your money. You may have heard your parents or grandparents recite the maxim, "He who fails to plan, plans to fail." Eye rolls aside, those are incredibly wise words. Think of each dollar as your own personal employee. You're in charge and you get to boss every dollar around. Tell your dollars exactly what to do and they will respond obediently every time. But if you're not bossy with them, if you don't give them a specific job, they'll ruin your life, as we'll chat about in just a moment. The basic math around budgeting is really simple. Money in, your income, minus money out, your expenses, needs to equal 0. Now, because you've been tracking your spending using an app, this should literally be a snap. And these apps make building a budget simple too. Start by listing all of your sources of income for the month. Do you have a part-time job? Maybe you've got some babysitting gigs lined up. Do you have a birthday coming up and your grandma always gives you $50? Whatever it is, if it's money coming in, list it as income. Next, list all your expenses. So charitable giving, savings, a cell phone bill, clothes you have to buy, gas for your car. Maybe you have to pay for your car insurance as well. Maybe food to eat out with your friends. Anything that causes cash to leave your account gets listed here. If after you've done this, there's money left over, in other words, you have a positive number, you can up the dollar amount in whatever expense category you like. But if you've got a negative number, it means you'll need to trim down certain expenses or work to increase your income because you're spending too much. Now, in order for this to really work, you need to live below your means. This just means you can't spend more than you make. You can't have a Ferrari lifestyle on a Toyota paycheck. It just won't work. Which brings us to the next money-wise skill you'll need to master, using debt wisely. Now, debt is simply when you borrow money to buy something, and for most people, it's a way of life. Because they don't have a plan for their money, each month they spend more than they make, going deeper into debt. In fact, the total consumer debt of Americans is a staggering $14.9 trillion. That includes mortgages, auto loans, credit cards, and student loans. Now, some types of debt are better than others, although none of it is good per se. But if you must go into debt, and for many people in order to buy a house, they have to, be sure it's to buy assets and not liabilities. The main difference between assets and liabilities is that assets provide some type of future financial benefit, while liabilities present a future obligation. I mean, in real simple terms, assets put money in your pocket, while liabilities take money out. So using debt to purchase a home in a good neighborhood that will likely increase in value over the long term, or wisely investing in a small business you've started, both of which are assets, is a better use of debt than getting an auto loan to buy a new car or putting your new designer jeans on a credit card, both of which start to lose value as soon as you buy them. In today's world, though, credit cards are necessary. You'll likely need one in order to shop online or to make different types of reservations. But be aware, you must be 18 to get your own card, or even younger if you sign up as an authorized user on a card with your parents. And you need to be careful to only spend money you actually have. Follow your budget. Remember, you can't buy a Ferrari if your paycheck can only afford a Toyota. Now, even though you may not be able to buy that Ferrari, many people do live very comfortably with nice things and great experiences on budgets. Big part of this is prioritizing what's really important to you and choosing to spend on those things. And when you do spend, the fourth skill, learning how to be a savvy shopper, is critical to making your money go further than you ever thought possible. This may be by using coupons to get great deals on things, buying used or secondhand items, or one of my personal favorite ways to score killer deals, by negotiating. In life, almost every purchase is a negotiation. Very few prices are set in stone. Even items that seem like they have no wiggle room are open for negotiation. I've gotten deals on cars, houses, cell phones, cable bills, car insurance, dental bills, car repairs, and tons of other things. I've even returned items to stores I didn't buy them from. I was honest and didn't lie, and they still took it back. Thank you, Walmart. Now, how did I manage to score such killer deals? First, I asked. For most of my life, I've avoided conflict. Aside from the nasty emotional issues that arise down the road when people stuff their feelings and don't deal with them, it's also difficult to get what you want from life. Why? Because most of what we want in life needs to be asked for. And this means that someone may potentially say no. Ouch. Oof, conflict. I hate it, but not as much as I used to. Because I used to treat conflict like someone who had just eaten a can of the bubonic plague, I was really scared to ask for anything that may have led to conflict. Ask for a raise? No way. A promotion? Ooh, too scary. Ask for my cold, undercooked dinner to be taken back, a new meal brought out, and it all given to me for free? Was I nuts? I wasn't some kind of psycho who was bold enough to think that I should actually get what I paid for. In reality, I was afraid to broach pretty much any topic that could have even remotely led to conflict. In part, this was because I didn't have the skills to negotiate my way out of a wet paper bag. Then a few years ago, I read the book Never Split the Difference by former FBI hostage negotiator Chris Voss. It taught me tons of skills I can use to negotiate my way to the things I really want in life, whether it's a raise or a better deal on a used car. You should definitely check it out. Okay, so you're spending less than you make, getting amazing deals on things with your killer negotiation skills. What should you do with the money you're saving? In 2 words, save and invest. Savings can be used for a variety of things, but in general it falls into 2 main categories: short and medium-term goals and long-term ones. Short and medium-term savings goals are typically under 5 years. When saving for things in this category, items like a new bike, an upgraded phone, or an emergency fund to cover the cost of unexpected car repairs, you should set up a savings account at a brick and mortar bank or one online. Now, oftentimes online banks have better interest rates, but honestly, when it comes to making money, don't count on getting rich by stashing your cash in a savings account. Your aim is simply to sock away money towards your goal until you reach it. Longer term goals, one that are 5, 10, 20, or even 40 years in the future, are things like saving for college, starting a business, or saving for your retirement. For these, you're going to want to take advantage of what Albert Einstein called the most powerful force in the universe: by investing. Einstein was talking about compound interest, that simple but insanely formidable financial force of nature that is able to multiply your dollars while you sleep. How does it work? Well, for something so powerful, it's actually really straightforward. Compound interest is the interest you earn on the initial money you deposit and the interest you've earned. In other words, it's interest on interest. To understand how it works, you just need to use a bit of basic math. If you have $100 and it earns 5% interest each year, you'll have $105 at the end of the first year. At the end of the second year, you'll have $110.25. Now, not only did you earn $5 on the initial $100 deposit, you also earned 25 cents on the $5 in interest from the first year. Now, 25 cents may not sound like much at first, but it adds up like crazy over time. In fact, over 10, 20, or 40 years, it can have a massive impact. For example, let's say you invest a lump sum of $1,000 at age 18 in a simple index mutual fund. You earn a return of 7%, and your plan is to keep the money invested until you're 68. After 50 years, with you adding zero money after that initial $1,000 investment, you'd have over $29,000. Your money would have grown by over 29 times, all without you ever lifting a finger. And if you regularly add more money to your investment, things get really crazy with the cheese whiz. Let's say you decide to contribute $500 a month to your investment. You've got a job and you're living below your means by spending smartly and negotiating your way to great deals. You know the power of compounding and you really want to put every dollar to work for you. At the end of 50 years, you'd have over $2.7 million. And of that, almost $2.5 million is interest earned from compounding. A multimillionaire on only $500 a month, less than the average person pays for a new car loan. But the power of compounding can work against you the longer you wait to invest. If, in our example, instead of starting to invest at 18, you wait until 30 to begin investing the $500 a month. When you're 68, you'll only have $1.1 million. Waiting those 12 years would have cost you $1.6 million. And if you just waited until you turned 21, it's only 3 years. How much of a difference could it possibly make? How about 200 grand? By waiting those 3 years, you'd be left with over $200,000 less than if you started at 18. You can see then how important it is to start investing early and often, and why Einstein was so pumped up about compound interest. So if compound interest is so amazing, why don't more people take advantage of it? Is it because they don't know about it? Well, no, that's not it. Compound interest is taught in middle school math classes all over the world. When it comes to saving and investing, people have million-dollar intentions. Just this year, 1/3 of people plan to focus more effort on saving money. But the road to meager money is paved with good intentions. And financially, setting goals is super easy. Following through on them is a completely different story. One reason it's so hard to follow through on the goal to invest is that people have other things they want to spend money on. Few people have $100, $500, or even $50 lying around that they couldn't use now. And people put more value on a dollar today than on a dollar in the future. In their minds, money today is worth more than money down the line. So when given the choice between spending $50 today or saving $50 for the future, most people will choose to spend the money today, even though they know that $50 today will grow when invested. In short, people make dumb choices when it comes to saving money for the future. But money-wise people understand the power of compounding, and they don't make that mistake. Instead, they know that they're no smarter or stronger than the average person. They understand that they're prone to wanting to hold on to their money today instead of investing it for their future selves. So, to prevent themselves from making a $1 million mistake, they make the decision to save automatic. And they don't save from what's left over at the end of the month. Instead, they pay themselves second. Now, you'll often hear this referred to as paying yourself first, but as you'll see in just a moment, the most critical money skill of all should be done first. And spoiler alert, it's not saving or investing. Automating your savings is straightforward to set up at your bank or investment institution. And the beauty is, instead of having to decide every month to save money, people who automate make the decision once. And after that, each month, the money is invested and the magic of compounding can do its thing. And automation works for other areas of your finances as well, such as savings accounts like emergency funds, bill payments, and rebalancing your investments. Last but certainly not least is the money skill that is the foundation for everything else, the action that should be taken before you do anything else with your money. Smashing the like button. No, I'm just kidding. It's giving. It's giving, of course. Yes, that's right. In order to build true wealth, you need to master generosity by giving your money away. Tons of people are stressed about their finances. In fact, money stress is sky high right now, with one recent survey showing that 36% of adults have lost sleep because of worries over money. But you're not going to be part of that 36%. And the silver bullet you'll use to avoid the stress and worry about money is summed up in one surprising word: bacon. If you've never heard of money expert Francis Bacon, well, get in line. The only reason I'd heard of him was because he was the inventor of the scientific method. But little did I know that the 16th century English scientist, writer, and philosopher was also a personal finance expert. Because it was Bacon who said, "Money is a good servant, but a poor master. If you don't master it, it will master you." Bacon understood what Jesus explained centuries before. When it comes to money, there is no middle ground. Either you own it or it owns you. You're either its master or its slave. And one of the best ways to be your money's master and not its slave is to be generous. So how will that help you master your money? Well, the people who are generous aren't controlled by their money. In fact, they are so in control of their finances that they are able to give their money away. Now, for the more stingy members of society, the hoarders of wealth who have lots of money but are controlled by it, this is absolute madness. But for the 55% of millionaires who give to churches or charities on a regular or monthly basis, it makes perfect sense. These millionaires have understood another nugget of money advice passed on from Bacon, something I call the Bacon principle, that money is like manure. It's best if you spread it around. Now, whether it's tithing to your church, donating to charities that sponsor children in need, or paying for a few people behind you in the drive-thru, few things show you've truly arrived and have built true wealth like giving. Because the life of true wealth isn't about how big a house you own or the type of car you drive. It's not about how much money you've got stashed away in your bank account or even how much you save each month. Now, at this point, as a personal finance expert, I should probably lay out a very compelling argument for why your bank account balance is the most important issue facing you. I mean, it would be kind of crazy for a car salesperson to try to convince a potential buyer that they should stick with their boring, old, reliable sedan and forego the flashy new sports car. And yet here I am, telling you money isn't the be-all and end-all, because it's not. It's not the most important thing in life, not even close, and it definitely shouldn't be the sun around which your world revolves. In order to build true wealth and live a rich life, you have to put money in its proper place, in the pecking order of life. That means it's after your faith, your family, and your physical and mental health. As soon as it starts to creep into those upper echelons of priority, you're going to have big problems. You'll find yourself making decisions based on what's best for your wallet rather than taking into account the health of your spirit, relationships, or physical and mental health. But even though it's not everything, and it's definitely not, it is super important. And it will absolutely ruin your life if you fail to put a solid money plan in place. So, in the next video, I'll show you how to make a killer budget for teenagers or adults using 8 steps you won't learn in school. I'll see you there.